Gamers, you guys cast your mind back to about a couple streams ago. We covered, I forgot what his name was. It was RGB85 or something. It was another old man. It was another old fella. He did the classic 2018 style Pokemon talking points of company. So gamers, it is with great regret that I might have to inform you that my white shirt situation is insane, man, has also jumped in to the fray. MoistCr1tikal. I can't believe this. Not my squimbly drimbly grimbly. I've been watching this man since his Sumo Tori gameplay and commentary. How long actually? 14 years ago! I've been watching this man for 14 years! He's been my squimbly drimbly. Is he gonna fall for the classic trap of people online? Billion-dollar company. Harr! He probably is, in all fairness. So gamers, without further ado, let me present to you Pokemon Fans Are Mad at Me by Penguin Zero, aka MoistCr1tikal. Let's see if he's got the source for us. Let's see if he can give us the nuance, or if this is going to be the usual MoistCr1tikal thing of it's a daily video, so he's not going to get into the weeds of it like I probably would like him to. Therefore, let's move on. Okay, let's go.
Last night on stream, I watched the trailer for the new Pokemon game coming out this year,
Uh-huh.
Pokemon Legends ZA.
Uh-huh.
And I wasn't super impressed with what was presented.
Oh, that's a shame to hear. That's a shame.
Wasn't sugarcoating it or pulling any punches, and my criticism of it drew the ire of many Pokemon fans.
Did it now?
And as
People
tempers
online?
flared and milk spilt, juice boxes thrown to the floor. And
Hey. Cider bottles thrown on the floor, okay? Grown men like Pokemon too.
Unfortunately, something tragic unfolded.
What happened? The people online?
I was excommunicado from the Pokemon fandom.
Well, who said this? Hey, listen, that didn't pass my inspection. Hey, listen. File an appeal. Listen, I know a guy, okay? Was it Trevor? I know him, okay? I'll chat with him. God damn it.
They dubbed me not a fan
Listen,
of Pokemon anymore.
file an appeal.
Thus,
I'll speedrun it,
it's not a
okay?
game
I'll
made
fast
for
track
me,
it.
As I was just a hater. They cast me out from the Continental of the Pokemon fandom, which is so fucking stupid. I like how just expressing that these games could and should be much better, he's all of a sudden just blindly hating on it. Just
there's always gonna come on, Critical. You've been on the internet for long enough, brother. You knew what was gonna happen. Would I say that the Pokemon fandom is probably like worse in this regard, more so than any community you've probably interacted with? Maybe, but come on, you know what these people are like, okay? You know what these people are like. Come on.
I'm gonna go over my thoughts on the trailer and talk about the things I think could be improved because from everything I've seen in the Pokemon Legends ZA extended look, it is a step backwards from the last Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Step back? Oh Jesus! What makes you say that? If any, like, what would make him say that? I suppose one of the cool things about Legends PLA was that it was kind of set in the past when Pokemon and people were like terrifying creatures. So I'm guessing that element has kind of gone from this, so, which I suppose would maybe be, that's the only thing I can guess, unless it's the classic graphics. I'm trying to think of more than just graphics, because if he's a graphics Gregory, I don't know how much of a Pokemon fan he is. If he's as much of a Pokemon fan as I think he is, surely you know, Critical. Surely you can do better than this. Do better, Critical. Come on, Charles White.
Very positive and optimistic on.
Hey, so am I.
Violet.
What? No, there's no way. You're lying to me. Oh, when your go has a. I can't believe this. I actually can't believe this. No way. Moresty shot dead in the Bronx. There's no way, no! God damn it, my 14-year scrimbly hates Scarlet and Violet. I loved Scarlet. Man, that sucks to hear, doesn't it? That sucks. You hate to hear it, you really do.
It's Violet. There's no amount of revisionism there that can convince me that the game was actually good.
No, but it was good though. It was just the performance that was shit, brother. The story was good. The catching was more fun than ever. 3 different story paths. Fucking goated DLC. Come on, 3 times. Come on.
That shit was insulting. It was embarrassing.
No, it wasn't. It was good. And listen, I will convince you. Listen. Hey, all I'm saying, MoistCr1tikal. If you will platform notorious YouTuber Sneeko on your platform and debate him, you can platform me and have me debate you on Scarlet and Violet. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Mr. Charles. All right, that's what I'm saying.
And I stand by that. I also hated Sword and Shield.
Okay, that's based.
Been one
that's
of their
based.
biggest leaps with the Pokemon franchise, and instead it was its most watered down and most barren.
That's
Somehow,
true.
They go backwards pretty often. Game Freak, I've said for a while, is just extremely lazy.
Game Freak is lazy. Yes, yeah, I suppose you
Have what I believe to be one of the easiest jobs in the world, where all they need to do is just copy and paste, and fans will just clap for it most of the time.
I mean, as a fan who will buy it and clap every time, I don't buy it every time and clap. Okay, I listen. Come on, listen. All I'm saying is that when the games are bad, I'll happily call them bad. But when the games are good, I'll also call them good. Is Pokemon where we want it to be? No, of course it isn't. But come on, man, come on.
And yet somehow they'll still find ways to fuck that up, like with Sword and Shield, where they just get rid of like half of the roster.
Oh, Dexit conversation.
Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. Point is, there are a lot of blunders here that to me make no sense, because Pokemon is the most lucrative property ever.
Billion-dollar company
on the planet. So why aren't the games amazing? And why do the games oftentimes just feel exactly the same without any moving forward?
That's a question you'd have to ask the Game Freak execs. You really would. Now, well, if I am going to do my role as Pokemon's biggest modern glazer, what I would say is that I think it's very, very clear that if you look at the games for what they are, should they be better? Of course, I will always admit that. But I think each game has like at least shown that Game Freak kind of knows what they're doing a bit more. Like with X and Y, again, that game was clearly their first 3D game, so it suffered as a result. With Sun and Moon, I think they got better at telling a story. Whether I like the story or not, I wasn't really that big on the story, but they got better at telling a story. With Gen 8, they got a lot better at the more social aspects of what they want Pokemon to be. With when it comes to raids, when it comes to the social aspects, is it as good as the PSS? No. But the YCOM was obviously their way of like making Pokemon a more social experience with like the raids and what have you. And I think they definitely did a good job of that. And SV was their way of kind of taking everything they've learned and making it as refined as it could be. Could it have been better if I had an extra year in development? Of course. But I think it's easily the best story they've told in the 3D era. Easily the best gameplay, if you like the open world stuff, of the 3D era. And easily the most uniqueness as well, in terms of there's 3 different story paths, there's like multiple things going on. And if we talk about the end game as well, the end game of Scarlet and Violet is like easily the best in the series, I would say. That like craziness that happened in Area Zero, I don't think, like, if anything, that alone shows that they've kind of improved as they've gotten along. So while the IP is definitely not where it obviously should be, to say they've taken steps back, I think is a bit reductive. I would say so. People online are mad at me. Proceeds to regurgitate literally every talking point. I'll give you, listen, if I'm going to cope a little, I will say that it's obvious that Penguin Zero, Mr. MoistCr1tikal, aka Charlie, aka Charles White, whatever, right, is someone who isn't really as in tune with the fandom. So as a result, he's just seeing it on a surface level. And considering the content he does, where it's just like daily content, he's obviously not going to get into the weeds of this like any ordinary YouTuber would, right? So I'm not expecting him to be as nuanced as possible, but it is a shame to see someone at a high level with a big number next to their name parrot such lazy talking points. It is a bit of a shame, you know. It is a bit of a shame, I'll say. To be in the end game and SV is a hard task. That was peak. Oh, it was peak. It was so fucking good, man. It was so good. I loved it.
Arceus was the first time in a long time I had actual optimism for Game Freak delivering a high quality Pokemon experience. And back when I reviewed it, I actually caught a lot of shit for being so positive on it, because it did have flaws. But
wow, it's almost as if the Pokemon fans are going to be mad regardless, Mr. White. But hey, I guess you needed to put out a video today, huh? Yeah? I guess you needed a daily bit of content today, huh?
I thought all of the DNA and all of the groundwork laid a great foundation for what could be an amazing Pokemon formula going forward. And with Pokemon Legends ZA, I was expecting that to be improved upon, built upon, and be really impressive. But
I'll let you finish your point, but is there anything that leads you to believe it's not going to go along those same way based on the trailer? If anything, one of the things that I said that PLA was definitely weak on was the battling. And if the trailer showed us anything, they've literally given us active time battling instead of turn-based. Are you kidding me? Like more like direct, like active battling? Jesus Christ, that's amazing. So if they can keep the fun of catching from PLA with the modern battling system of PLZA, gee, you could potentially have like the greatest Pokemon game, at least in terms of those two factors. I don't know if the story and the setting will be as good, but at least in terms of the core two factors that a lot of people play these games for, that could be, this could be the best Pokemon game. Yeah, it could be. So what leads you to say otherwise, Mr. White?
In this trailer, it feels like they just went backwards somehow. Again,
how
like
so?
they've done before.
How so? Tell me.
I was pretty disappointed.
Are you gonna show? I hope you show me.
Taking these games and wanting them to be better doesn't
I hope
mean
you show
that
me.
I just blindly hate Pokemon. I have been.
We know you're. We know. Please, can you show us?
Since the late 90s. Well before.
Oh, so you are a fan. He's been playing since the late 90s. So you do know. So you are a long-time fan. A shame they're not as plugged into the. Well, I guess I say it's a shame that you're not plugged into the discourse. It's probably a good thing you're not plugged into the discourse, but a bit more disappointing, I'll say, that you're regurgitating relatively lazy talking points, I would say.
Or the majority of you were even embarking on your zygotic...
Hey, shut up. I'm probably older than you, Mr. White. Shut up, nerd. I am old. I am old. My back hurts now. I am old.
A blind Pokemon hater. I am just someone who wants the games to be as good as they could.
Don't settle for less. Fight for more.
Should be. And I don't know why we have this extremely low standard. We're just doing the very bare minimum with this IP is all of a sudden serviceable and should be, you know, celebrated. Like, oh look, Game Freak did the same thing again. Yes!
Where have you been the last 7 years, my fella in Christ? You are Christ. My Christ. Where have you been the last 7 years? Brother, man, the discourse has been, the counterculture when it comes to Pokemon has been rife ever since Sword and Shield, my fella. Like, need I show you? Where's the guy? Need I show you? Like, ever since, where is it? This fella's been like the spearhead. This fella right here has been like the spearhead of this like fucking counter movement, brother. If I search his most popular video, I guarantee it's the one. Look how many views these videos have, brother. Look at this shit, lad. You see this? This has been the discourse for a while. The Game Freak is lazy. For the last like 5 years, the discourse has been like this, fat. Do you know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? Like, are there? What you've probably seen is you've probably seen fans like me who, while I will acknowledge that Pokemon is not where it should be, also don't really, I want to say don't really care, but aren't bothered by it the same way others are. But of course, because the online, you're seeing the most extreme version of my opinion, which is, I don't care, they work hard. That's what you're seeing, and therefore, and you're falling for it, Mr. Critical. You're falling for the bait, brother. You're falling for it.
Anyway, though, let me play you a clip from what I believe
to be
show us. The easiest thing Game Freak has done ever from this trailer. And it's their wild zones.
The what? Listen, I'm confused. Please play the video.
To help people and Pokemon coexist, the city has set up wild zones. These areas, located throughout Lumiose, give wild Pokemon habitats where they can thrive.
Okay.
To catch one of these wild Pokemon, aim carefully, then throw a Pokeball.
This, to me, is a massive step backwards.
How so?
Because now you don't even just have exploration, going to different zones and biomes to find Pokemon. Now, you just go into a city, go through a hologram, and you just see a couple Pokemon on the street. Like,
I mean, Charlie, surely you don't believe that all of it is going to be as easy as presented in the trailer, right? Like, conceptually, I kind of get it in the sense that PLA was kind of like the areas are like the world is kind of like open and free, so you kind of got to like explore, if that makes sense. But with this one, it's like, obviously, it's split into zones, but that doesn't mean it can't be interesting, if that makes sense. Like, the implication is that it's going to be as easy as presented in the trailer. Does that make sense? Yeah, like, we don't have enough footage to debate this state. That's what I'm saying. When the game comes out, he might be correct. But if they do it very well, then he'll be wrong, you know? So, like, this is one of those things where I can understand you maybe being a bit worried, but saying it's a step back is a big claim. That's what I'm saying. That's a massive claim, Mr. Charles. It's a massive claim. Is it Charles or it's Charlie, right? Why do I keep calling him Charles?
Like that one next to a car. What? Like, how can you possibly defend that? That is beyond lazy. So
I would defend that in the sense that we don't know enough to properly engage with this. While I understand that it looks kind of, yeah, I suppose it looks kind of naff, but who's to say the other areas don't get way more interesting? It very, very easily could, brother. So, reaching. You're reaching, brother. You're reaching. MoistCr1tikal doesn't beat there. Has never left his 1200 rural Kansas town allegations, so he thinks you can't explore a big city. Cook him, Sable. Cook him. Cook him. Yeah, like, also, that's another thing. I don't know if he's going to talk about this, but yeah, I did see a lot of people say they're a bit upset that it's just Lumio City. If anything, that makes me way more excited. If they focus on a relatively smaller area, they can pack that small area with so much more. So, if anything, that makes me more excited. I wonder if he's also going to talk about that, but we've got 8 minutes. Keep going.
now you just have the same fucking copy and pasted JPEG buildings, and you'll just go through and then you'll see a couple Pokemon spawn, and that's it. You don't even have the exploration. Now, I'm sure the game won't just be Lumios. At least,
hang on.
fingers crossed it won't.
Say that again.
Fuck me in the face.
Oh, he's okay. He updated.
Turns out I was wrong. It's set entirely within Lumio City. Wow. That makes me significantly more disappointed here.
Again, if I'm trying to be as nice as possible, you know, if I'm trying to cope, chat. This is one of my YouTube goats, chat. I'm trying to cope. I will say that the prospect of not being able to explore all of Kalos in a new 3D Switch environment is a bit of a shame. But if you're talking to me as like a fan of like a Pokemon game, I would say the smaller the scope, the more they can pack into that scope, you know? So I'm interested to see what they do with that smaller scope. I'm very, very much interested. It's one of those things where if they pull off well, it can be good. If they pull off badly, then it'll be bad. So it depends, really.
How your interaction with Pokemon in this game is exclusively through these wild zones.
We don't necessarily know that it's going to be exclusively through these wild zones. They could do a bit more with it, but it's just the trailer.
It seems that is mind-numbing. I really think that is terrible.
Well, guess what, Charlie? Your opinion is wrong. And you're skibbity. And you're cringe. And I bet you've worn that white shirt 10 times today. I know people make the joke that you have like a million white shirts. I bet you've worn that for 10 days in a row. Which is like above the threshold for being able to wear a shirt. It's like three most, and then you have to switch it out, brother, because it gets all grody and gross. I bet you've worn it for 10 days. Wash that shirt, Charlie.
In my opinion, sucks major ass. I would even go as far up the food chain as saying it sucks colonel and maybe even general ass.
General ass? Staff sergeant ass, I'd be like, fair. General ass is way too much, brother. I'm gonna be honest. Way too much.
It is watering down one of the most core features of Pokemon, which is going around exploring, going to different regions of the map, and
we just don't have enough information yet, brother. We just don't have enough of it. I agree with you. Easily the best aspect of Pokemon, and why I love PLA so much, is the exploring and the catching. But I just don't have enough to go off to be able to make a full judgment call as to whether they're gonna neuter that aspect. They've done so well in every game up till now. Why would they fuck that part up? You know, like I don't know, Mr. Charlie. I don't know.
Different Pokemon there.
You sure there wasn't some like Pokemon drama you could have talked about? You sure there wasn't like an EA video you could have made? Are you sure there wasn't like the blank situation is crazy you could have made? This one should have stayed in the drafts, little bro. Should have stayed in the drafts.
You just go through the city and just hit different wild zones that just put them in fucking parking spots like that fletchling that was just posting up next to the car. Or there was another Pokemon, I couldn't quite tell what it was, that was just next to an umbrella. And one of the complaints I had in Pokemon Legends Arceus was you'd be exploring, and then there wouldn't be many Pokemon that you could see because the draw distance was really bad and they couldn't spawn a lot.
That was a bit annoying.
At any one time. So
Quiet day on Twitter.
A little empty. Well, here it has that same problem, but now you don't even have the exploration. Now you just still have 2 Pokemon on screen, but they're just standing around in a really boring looking city. It'd be a lot better if you could leave Lumios, and I don't know, maybe you can, even though what I read says it takes place entirely in there, so...
Again, you're fixated on this idea of leaving. Like, you know what's the most disappointing thing about this video, chat? It's not that he has this, like, surface-level take on Pokemon, despite being a fan since the 90s. That's not the most disappointing part about this. I think the most disappointing part is he's fallen for the meme of bigger game world equals better. Like, you've been playing video games for how long, Charles? That's like Charlie. You've been playing video games for how long, Charlie? Surely you experienced the open world malaise of like the late 2000s, early 10s, where like every game felt they needed to be open world, but barely justified it with its size compared to its content, right? I experienced that, and I'm sure you did too. So a game being smaller scale but having more of it is so much better. I'd much rather take that, because as much as accidentally hit my desk there. As much as I do love GTA 5 and I think it's a fantastic story game, I love it. Part of me, like, I wasn't necessarily like, wow, I love having to drive literally 10 minutes to get to rural Los Santos. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of cool, I suppose, to scale, but like, I wasn't particularly wowed by it. So if a game having a smaller scale doesn't really bother me that much. And also, yeah, people are also pointing out, do you know how big a city is? Like, Paris is huge, brother. London is so big that I could literally travel 2 hours in a certain direction and still be in London. That's how massive the city is. It's insanely huge. So if they manage to capture that same scope with the different biomes they could have in Lumios, it could be interesting. And since they're going through an urban redevelopment plan, I'm guessing the conceit of the story is that like they make different biomes for the different Pokemon they want to be able to live together with the people. So the game also, it kind of hints that you'll get the same level of biome diversity as you would in a normal Pokemon game. Or at least that's the implication. It could be not the case, but we're judging it off of a trailer after all, so. Charlie thinks you're able to touch grass because concrete hell without any greenery. That's 2 for 2 now, Sable. What are you doing? You're cooking him. Although Legend series was supposed to be a Game Freak would experiment. Yeah, crazy, right? And Charlie doesn't like the experimentation? I don't know, but that's my face. That's my face when my goat washed. Again. You can travel 7 hours in Los Angeles and move 1 mile. True! All the traffic.
Doesn't seem like you can. But it'd be better if you could and like go out into the world, and this would just be like the hub that also had the wild zones. That would be a lot better. But it doesn't seem like that's the direction at all. So definitely not a fan of that, and I really don't know how you can mental gymnastics and exploration.
I think you could I just did mental gymnastics, and I just schooled you with my spinning trickery, my ballet dancing, my rhythmic rambunctiousness, Mr. Charles, all right? Get owned, nerd.
For how getting rid of exploration in different biomes.
We don't know if they've gotten rid of the exploration, and we don't know if they've gotten rid of the biomes yet. The implication is there, but we don't know for sure, brother.
In order to just strip it down to just a couple, I'm sure there's going to be tons of wild zones that are just, again, the city landscape with a couple of Pokemon sprinkled in there, just tiddlywinks of Pokemon placed around, is somehow better than the exploration element.
It could be. I'm willing to give it a chance. We haven't played the game yet. Charles. While I understand your questions based on the trailer, I think you're reaching, Batman.
I think it is just a massive downgrade.
If you're having a hard time catching one, have one of your Pokemon use its moves to weaken the target, making it easier to catch.
Oh, actually, one thing I really like. Oh, hang on. Hey, thank goodness for showing this. One thing I really liked is that, look, I don't know if you guys will notice it. I'll show you. Hang on.
If you're having a hard time catching one,
but what's this?
One of your Pokemon use its moves to.
You see how the Pokeball or the bar goes completely empty and then you can catch the Pokemon? Like, how annoying was it when like you'd have to get a Pokemon to red and then if you kill it, oh, that's it, it's gone. So you could like deplete the Pokemon of all its health and then it's like, whoa, and I'm guessing then it disappears and dies, for example. So now you're like, oh, I can actually just like battle it normally. Holy shit, I love that. That's one thing I saw in the trailer that I didn't notice at the time, but rewatching it earlier, I was like, yes, let's go. Let's fucking go, lads.
Weaken the target, making it easier to catch.
It kind of took the skill of it. I'm telling you, but the gameplay, it was boring. I want to be honest. It was fucking boring. It was just boring, brother. I'm telling you. The whole weekend of Pokemon catch formula was a little boring. I'll happily take this a breath of fresh air, you know?
I just don't see how that looks like an exciting change. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe
you
I'm
are crazy.
The stupid pills here, but fighting a Pokemon on a rooftop, cool one time, but not when all you have is battle a Pokemon on a rooftop or some streets or like an alleyway. That's lame. Like, I don't see that as a positive thing.
I don't know. We don't know if there's going to be more areas. Like, one person said, I don't think it's someone in the chat. Someone said, what? Imagine if Lumios allowed you to explore, like, the Lumios catacombs. Because if you guys don't know anything about Paris, one of the most infamous things about Paris is that there's a ginormous web of catacombs underneath the city that, like, is mostly unexplored. And there's literally stories of people going down there and getting lost. Imagine if there was a Pokemon version of that. The Paris Catacombs. How cool would that be? Like, charting this unexplored area? That could be kind of cool, right? So, I don't know, Charles. I don't know, Charlie. You're being a bit crazy. Acting like an angel, dressed like crazy.
This game offers a style of Pokemon battling not seen in previous titles.
Oh, hang on. Is he gonna poo-poo this? Hang on, Charles. What are you doing, lad?
Moves can have a longer or shorter reach, or different areas of effect. So choose your timing and positioning carefully to gain the upper hand. Lead your partner Pokemon through battles and dodge incoming attacks.
This is easily one of the coolest things that Pokemon's done in a long time. And I can't... Charlie, surely you agree, right? Surely. This looks insane if they could pull off.
Big change that people thought was very hype.
Yes!
I am of the firm stance, it's not that hype.
No joy, no whimsy. No joy, no whimsy. Sad. Sad. Well, I mean, it's like... You wonder why Pokemon fans are mad at you, but then you're just kind of like poo-pooing one of the coolest things ever made. Like, for what reason? Do you know what I mean? It makes no sense. Like, I don't think you can be upset that the Pokemon fans gave you excommunicado. And like, one of the, like, well, we know what change. You want innovation. Change and innovation. I don't know, guys. I don't think it's that hype. Like, you see what I mean? It's like, yeah, listen, you're valid in sharing your take, but like, you see what I mean? Like, I'm putting 2 and 2 together and it's equaling 4, you know? I'm putting it together. I'm doing a bit of math.
I'm sorry to say. Yes, the introduction of being able to...
Let me hear it. It's not as good as insert other game. Let me hear it. Let me hear it, Charlie. Come on.
The move during the battles is nice because you can dodge attacks. And it seems like it's not just traditional turn-based, even though I like turn-based. It is a change for sure. But I think I'm a little more lukewarm on it than most people seem to be. This isn't like a, call your grandma up just fucking, hyperventilating over how...
I think this is definitely an example of people online. I think you've just seen people on Twitter getting hyped, and you just want to be the counter-hype, in the same way that you've seen people on Twitter say that you're a hater, and you've made this entire video. So, I don't know what to tell you, Charlie. I don't know what to tell you. The measured opinion is, hey, I think this could be kind of cool if they'd pull off, but you're not going to see that kind of person because that kind of person is me and I don't post on Twitter, so.
How huge this is. To me, this is what I would have expected more of, because this is an extension of something Arceus introduced us to, dipping its toes in there with the boss fights. In Pokemon Legends Arceus, you might remember during the boss fights, you can move around during the actual encounter. You can dodge. Then you're fucking throwing tomatoes at it. You're not actually throwing tomatoes, but you yourself are engaging with the boss fight, and you're moving while doing so. And they took that mechanic, and they're introducing it to normal Pokemon battles.
Yeah, which seems cool, right?
Boss battles, which I think is a solid direction
yes,
to go.
true.
I imagine it'll probably feel like a good quality of life change, but it doesn't feel like a completely new combat system for Pokemon that game.
Does it not? I would say it. I'll let you finish, but okay. Question marks?
Game Freak has really went into the lab, and they worked tirelessly night and day to reinvent Pokemon.
Well, obviously, when you phrase it like that, of course it doesn't sound like that, Charlie, you dingus! Of course it doesn't!
Combat from the ground up.
I'm crashing out!
It just
well, yeah, of course not, but it's nice that we finally had some, for fuck's sake.
Seems like it's a nice
when your goat wash, chat, when your goat, oh, come on. When your goat wash. It's just hating for the sake of hating at this point, man. What are they supposed to do, Charlie? What are they supposed to do?
Feature that they probably should have had a long time ago.
Yes, I know. You know. We know. They should have did this back in X and Y. They should have done this back in Diamond and Pearl. They should have done this, but no. We know what the Pokemon series is now because my capitalism and my Game Freak is lazy and don't sell for less of it for more. And man, it's like having that friend who's like had a chronic smoking addiction for 20 years, man. Or should I say more accurately, like 10 years. When he finally like gives up and is like, do you know what? I'm gonna give up. Let me join your 5-a-side team. You're not gonna be like, well, you should have joined us 10 years ago. You should have made this change down here. You're like, yeah, finally, let's get the guy in. You know what I mean? Like, should Game Freak have been innovating way more? Say it with me, class. Of course they should have, because we all know this. But when they have, let's give them their plaudits. Let's give them their plaudits, brother. Come on.
And it does feel like a tweak from Legends Arceus, which I think is good. And I wish they had done more of it, but it feels like instead of like building on Arceus or tweaking things from Arceus, it was more like stepping back from what they were exploring there. And this, to me, is a good change, but not super new. Like, it doesn't beat the allegations of same freak just doing the same shit every time.
What would have, though? That's what I'm saying too, because for me it kind of does. It does beat the same freak allegations, which I've never heard that slander name before, by the way. Funny slander name. I'll give you an 8 out of 10 for that slander name. Never heard of it before. I would say it beats the same freak allegations 100%. 100% it does. So, I don't know, brother. I think you're setting your expectations a bit too high and then too low at the same... I know, you're confusing me here, Charlie. You're confusing me.
It seems like they introduced something that will feel...
Are you sure this is a video by Charlie and not by Professor Sad, you know? Only real Charlie fans will get that joke.
Better, but I don't think it's going to be all that different or feel all that new. Now, in the trailer, you might have also noticed that the moves appear to go on cooldown. That's also different, and it's what I meant when I said that it doesn't feel like it doesn't seem like it goes like in a traditional turn-based system. But I don't know if that's necessarily even going to change it being pseudo-turn-based, because unless I'm misremembering, I didn't see any battle that was presented there that had 2 moves on cooldown at the same time. So it feels like you can use a move, it'll go on cooldown, but then you'll have to use another move or wait for that one to come off cooldown. I don't think you can go like this move, then this move, and they both go on cooldown. At least I didn't see that in the trailer. So it feels like it'll probably still end up being somewhat turn-based, but I guess we'll have to wait to see more to see.
I don't know. I don't know if that... I don't know if that necessarily tracks, but sure, okay.
How that cooldown feature actually plays into all of this. And then another thing people were super excited for is the bringing Mega Evolutions back. If you really liked Mega Evolutions, I'm sure you were probably, stars in your eyes over.
Yeah, for me, this is one where I'm like, oh, that's neat. Well, anyway, I'm with Critical on this one. This is one where I'm just like, yeah, cool, I guess. Let's neat. If Mega Flygon gets one, I'll be pod crazy, okay? But that's kind of it, you know? Like, okay, it's back, cool.
But to me, again, it's not new and it's not pushing it forward. It's just bringing back something a lot of fans probably would like to see be brought back.
Yeah, no, and unlike you, I'm happy for the fans that are happy. You're just miserable and sad. You're Professor Sad, Moist Sad, Sad Critical. That's how you sound.
Yeah, evolution. But to me, again, this is still not like a massive leap for Pokemon games.
It's not, but it's a jump enough where me as a fan who still likes the series but understands that the series could be more has enough meat on the bone to chew on, you know? It's like, you know, that's the worst bit about interacting with people who are, Pokemon is the biggest IP. It's like, you're not wrong, but also boring. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I've heard this for like the last 5 years, so pardon me if I'm being a bit flippant, but like, yeah, absolutely Pokemon should be bigger than it. Its bigness should be reflected in its product, which it isn't, but hey, I get to catch my little squinkly Joe, so therefore you're wrong and skibbity.
To me, it feels like a step back from what Arceus was trying to push. And me saying that on stream, people were not super pleased with, but...
well, the idea is, what do you think that Arceus was trying to push? That's what I would ask you. What do you think Arceus was trying to push? Because if you ask me what was good about the Legends game, or at least PLA, was that it experimented with the series. That's the one thing I really liked about it. We got taken to a setting that we've never seen before, with capture mechanics we've never seen before, with a battle mechanic that was interesting, with a Pokedex system that was very unique. So it was their way to just like kind of throw everything at the wall, you know, and seeing what works and what doesn't. So if they're effectively doing that again with PLZA, I'm okay with that. Will it work? I don't know. We'll have to play the game and find out. But I'm okay with that personally. So the question I'll ask you is, what did you think the core of Pokemon Legends was, and why is it bad that it's missing from this game? That's what I'd ask you. But it's it's a slow news day. It's a slow news day at Twitter, so I don't think we're gonna get the answer. You know what I mean?
I just really think it's kind of inarguable. There's still no...
It is arguable because you're bad at arguing. You're bad. You're bad. Okay, no voice acting kind of sucks.
I think it's going to be a complaint we'll be having for the next 50 years. I think at this point it's just spite. I just feel like they're just doing it out of spite. We're not adding voice acting. We're not improving the visuals. We're not adding, you know, more Pokemon on stream. We're not on screen. We're not improving draw distance. Suck our dick. Like, to me, it feels like it's just out of spite at this point. And I know people always point to hardware limitations, and yes, the Switch is very underpowered. Hopefully the Switch 2 fixes that. The specs that have released for the Switch 2 seem like it's going to be pretty powerful. But for the current Switch, yeah, it's barely more powerful than a calculator. But that doesn't mean that the games have to be like this.
We know. Trust me, Charlie, we know. Mr. I've been a fan since the 90s. We know. Trust me, we know, brother. We know. We know.
Look at Zelda. Look at Xeno.
Oh, here it is. Xenoblade mentioned! Xenoblade mentioned! Get in! I was waiting for a chat. Bring me to life. Wake me up. Wake me up. It's I can't wake up. Wake me up. Save me. Call my name and save me from the dark.
There is still so much you can squeeze out of a Switch that, for some reason, Game Freak doesn't for Pokemon.
More capitalism.
The most profitable franchise.
More capitalism, brother. More capitalism.
These games
More capitalism. More capitalism. Capitalism.
Like when I brought up this comparison, but I'm going to do it again.
Do it.
Power World has proven that this...
Power World mentioned! Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Oh, so proudly we gleam from the twilight's last gleaming. Come on now, come on. USA, USA.
There's so much room for innovation, and that we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of what's possible with this genre.
Yeah, of course, yep. Which is why I would champion other developers to, because if anything, one thing that hang on, Powered glazing. If anything, I like the fact that Powered exists, right? I actually love it. And I like the fact that there's a lot of the more indie creature collecting monster games that are bursting onto the scene. Because if there's one thing that I think even the Overwatch devs have kind of admitted to, is that Marvel Rivals coming out as like this brand new cool hero shooter has definitely muscled into their territory and has made them like, you know, go, oh shit, okay, we got to really like get our shit together. We really got to start focusing. So if the fans' outcry is not going to do that, and if other indie games or other creature collecting monster RPGs can burst onto the scene and eat into Pokemon's dominance in that market, yeah, I think that'd be fantastic. I think that'd be a good way to like light a fire under Game Freak's asses and have them make the giant pushes that we wish they could, that they're just not doing, unfortunately. But sadly, that's not the reality we live in. So either you can play the games for what they are, or you can just play other games, you know? And that sounds like a massive cope, because firstly, it kind of is. But secondly, I think it's been very clear since arguably back in 2013, I would say definitely in the Switch era, that we know what Pokemon is now. You know, caveat emptor, as I would say. We kind of know what Pokemon is. We kind of know what modern Game Freak is. So if you're still buying these games, you're still thinking these games are going to be top-notch, and that's more your fault, really. It's more your fault than it is the execs at Game Freak who refuse to give them the proper time they deserve. But either way, I've made this point before, haven't I? Because it seems like we've watched this video 10 times, haven't we? It seems like it. And
Pokemon is just really content just cruising.
It is, absolutely. Capitalism. Say the C word with me, chat. Capitalism. Capitalism.
Bare minimum in many circumstances.
Capitalism.
This property.
Just in the same way that you didn't feel the need to research and make a good video because you make 1 million views per video. Mr. Charles? Yeah. I can throw it right back at you, mister. I can throw it right back at you. All right?
So, yes, I know Power World and Pokemon, they don't play the same. They are very different games, but they do share very similar traits. And Power World did all of it better than Pokemon.
Okay, play Power World then, innit?
I think full stop Power World.
Power World did go play Power World. I will be playing PLZ day one. Hey guys, full playthrough day one. Yes, full playthrough day one, and we will be stealing all of Penguin Zero's catalog and playing it in the corner Subway Surfer style. Will you be there, gamers? Will you be there for the Slopathon Legends ZA stream? Will you be there?
Everything better and ate Pokemon's lunch. And I just really hope at some point Pokemon puts real effort into delivering a genuinely great game again. Because
yeah. We said that 5 years ago, and you'll probably... Do you know what the worst part is, Charlie? Do you know what the worst part about this video is? You're probably going to make this exact same video 2 years from, like a year from now when they announce Gen 10. Literally, gamers, But put a timestamp on it. He's gonna get another similar-ish video when he reviews Gen 10, and he goes, "The game should be better." I'm not doing a strong voice. He's right. These games should be better than they're supposed to. These games should be better than they're supposed to be. Goddamn, they look like ass. Well, fuck my ass and call me Graham. These games suck. The Power World situation is crazy, folks. What's up, guys? My name's Critical. You're probably gonna make this like 8 months from now when they announce Gen 10. You absolutely are. So. I'd rather play a 5 out of 10 RPG than a 9 out of 10 so. True! I personally, the reason Power World didn't resonate with me is because I just don't really like survival games. So if they made Power World, but it wasn't a survival game, it was a traditional RPG, oh, hell yeah, let's play it.
It's been a while. Arceus has been their best attempt. People disagree with me when I say that,
yep,
but I
really
disagree. Do believe that Arceus was their
You're
best
wrong and
attempt
skibbity.
at trying new things and actually trying to deliver a new experience.
SV was good. SV was good. SV was good. SV was good.
So they have now just abandoned that and are just going back to cruise control. So, yes.
Wrong.
I was not a huge fan of Pokemon Legends ZA extended look. Hopefully, as more comes out, maybe it looks better and better, and I'm looking like a real fool because the game's stunning. It's actually amazing with so many cool new things added to it. But
You already look a fool, brother. It would just be a victory lap if they make you look a fool again.
what I've seen right now doesn't appear to be the case. That doesn't mean that I'm not a fan of Pokemon and just a hater.
No one believes this. Everyone knows this, Charlie. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this. You're preaching to a choir that is not even there, brother. This isn't. I hate it. Listen, if I'm gonna shit on King K for doing this, if I'm gonna shit on Rogue Renegade for doing this, I'm also gonna shit on you, my scrimbly drimbly, MoistCr1tikal. Back when you used to, I used to know you back when you just went by Critical. Okay, I'm also gonna dunk on you for doing this as well. No normal person on planet Earth is actually saying anything like it believes that.
That I'm not a fan of Pokemon and just a hater of it.
No one buys this. Like having watched your video, I think your expectations are misaligned with what Pokemon are in the modern day, which if you want to hold them to those expectations, I'd say that's fine, but you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot there. But I wouldn't say that you're a hater. No normal person would say that you're a hater, and you're just people online. Oh man.
Anything. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah.
Yeah, see you later, man. The situation's crazy, brother. The situation's crazy. I don't know. As I said, hang on. Can I refresh? Can I refresh to get the bar back? As I said, I think that this is just the classic Pokemon billion-dollar franchise bit, isn't it? I think the points that you brought up that you were a bit concerned about were either, one, we haven't seen enough of the gameplay, or two, no joy or no whimsy. So I don't know what to tell you, Critical. I'll see you in 8 months when you make another video about Gen 10, okay? I'll see you in 8 months, brother. I'll see you in 8 months. Bravo 6 time? Let's do it.
Stream, I want...
Hang on. They release a constant state of low quality content. I'm sure you know a lot about that. Ouch! That was mean. That was very mean. Oh, Bomb9 dude. That was extremely mean.
Solxl Vampire super chatted £3 and
very
87
mean.
pence. As much I like Charlie when he talk about people online.
People online?
I stop watching him very often.
For me, like, I've kind of been on I wouldn't say a downward swing, but there's definitely been like a couple of, I've missed my fair share of videos because it's just like drama Mondays. Does that make sense? You know, it's a bit of a shame. I missed it when you just did gameplay commentaries, if I'm being honest, but hey, I mean, it's a shame you don't really do that anymore because you're probably not interested in that sort of thing, but that was my Charlie, okay? My Charlie was random gameplay commentary. What is up, everybody? My name's Critical. Today I'm playing Flooper Shit-All 7. Let's do this shit. That was my era of Critical, okay? I missed that era. Bring him back. Bring him back. Bring him back. Either way, Bravo 6. Going dark. Going dark, gamers. Cool legendary. Where'd you call it? 5 blocks from here. Those are good. I like that. It's such a bizarre concept in the universe. Let's just dump it down to dangerous wild animals in a suburb in Paris. It's a fictional video game. Guys, can we beat these people to death with hammers? Can we kill this guy with hammers, guys? Can we get rid of the guys that are like, it's this wouldn't work in real life. I'm just like, can we like, if I'm gonna get my hammer bros to just chuck hammers endlessly, a genre of guy, can we just get rid of this genre of guy, please? I genuinely cannot stand these people. Downvote, okay? We need to get rid of them. We need to get rid of them. Just letting you know, Charlie, I'm a Pokemon fan, and I'm not mad at you. Soy, downvote. Move along, chat, move along. We heard you guys talk about some of the exploration zones for empty, so we removed them entirely. Like, what the fuck is Game Freak doing? Just wrong. Should have kept it sealed. I don't know what that means. Is that a reference to something? I don't know what that means. Reference I didn't get. Downvote. Oh no, it's the guy. Oh no, you should have kept it sealed. I remember. Okay, another reference. Downvote. That's the card. That's the card opening. Is it? Oh, is this the guy? The card opening guy? Oh, he hates. I'm unfollowing you on TikTok. I'm unfollowing you. Another goat of mine washed. Another go. Listen. I'm unfollowing you on TikTok. Disgusting behavior. You can walk now and have a cooldown. Downvote. When are we getting the people offline? They watch that trick. Oh, when someone you follow online has a bad opinion. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. This game is made for kids, not you. Listen, anyone who says this is somebody not worth listening to. It's an argument so horrible, it defeats itself. Why are you quoting this like it's the gospel? I would never say this. I will defend Pokemon in the modern day. I am never going to say this to you. This is unbelievable. And but there must be you. Who said this? Who did this? Point to him. No, point to him. Was he over there? Was he over there? Point to me, the guy. And then you're going to point to me some like no profile pic shitter on Reddit. Downvote. Downvote. Yakuza series show you could add a lot of content to a small city box. It's not impossible to have exploration over an entire city. True. I'm sounding like an owl. Pokemon is a social experiment. How the little effort of top-selling franchises compared to their product and get overwhelming profits. True. I will contribute. I will be there day one, gamers. Giving Pokemon habits where they can thrive. Not a single tree or even bush for the bird Pokemon. True. Outvote. I wish people would acknowledge you can be upset and not have hatred, but have caring and wanting something to be better for someone. Yeah, true. But it's the internet, so what do you expect? It's the internet, so what do you expect? Downvote. The amount of times I've seen people reply something like, why can't you be grateful to these people are children? Why, like, just ignore them, block them. If somebody said this, if I saw this argument, I'd block them. I'd block them. I'd remove them from the channel. I'd block them. Don't acknowledge, like, this person is obviously 12. Watch a Pokemon game trailers, it feels like, okay, this is supposed to be smaller projects. Surely they'll be more ambitious. True. As a massive Pokemon fan, I cast you into the fandom. Because you're back into the fandom for valid criticism. Cringe. Downvote. As a long-time fan since Red and Blue. Old! I 100% agree with you. I'd rather wait 5-6 years to get a game that looks like as creative as Breath of the Wild than crap we get out every 2 years. I'd like for them to try it. I would love for them to try it, actually. That'd be kind of cool. But, old, go start a family. Downvote. Nintendo making it easier not to get sued for a similar gameplay mechanic by making it there so you won't use anything close. Default profile pic, L. Another Checky? Another Checky? That's any fan base summed up. You see it on like one game, the entire fan base assumes you hate the whole thing. I mean, that's true. Yeah, do you know what's fair? Common Checky W, maybe. I don't know. I've been a fan my whole life. As if the profile picture don't give away. And I'm sick of everyone tired acting like these games don't look like dog shit. Terminally online Pokemon fans are weirdly cultish. Wow, it's as if... Hang on. Terminally online fans are weirdly cultish. You could have just said that sentence. Only allowing to be happy about certain things in the franchise. Thank you for speaking up, Charlie. It's incredibly refreshing to find somebody that agrees. Downvote, cringe. There's plenty of people on the internet who've been giving Game Freak their... throwing their tomatoes at Game Freak. Do you know what I mean? I don't know where you've been, brother. Oh yes, the world of Pokemon can't even leave a city. Bad faith. Downvote. Reminder: the Pokemon company would rather sue based on this. For fuck's sake, guys. You know, like Joe Schmo, the artist who like draws the Pokemon. He personally is suing Power World. Classic. Another Checky? Though I'm also quite disappointed the game being set solely in Luminous, it does look like Pokemon also spawned outside the wild zones. That said, I completely agree that it feels like a step back since the last game in terms of exploration. However, I'm excited for a new battle system and how they could impact future games. Hey, you know what? Another checky W. Fair. Pokemon Concrete World, where you can crawl into the sewers and catch rat Pokemon, or you can visit a petting zoo to hunt a mod. I don't know what you mean. Cringe. Porygon with Dustox profile picture. Downvote. Downvote, okay? Genuinely so mad Pokemon doesn't have a Breath of the Wild Odyssey. Cry harder. Downvote. How big is this damn city? Last time I remember, Lumios can't hold an infinite amount of Pokemon. Skull emoji. Downvote. Pokemon's gonna be so hyped when they discover 1080p and 2049. True! I am gonna lose. True! Let's see some of the new guys. Forget them. If you believe you're a Pokemon fan, then you are. You know what, Sonia? You're right for that. After this video, my opinions have been validated. Me and my friends feel the same way. True. Downvote. I used to love Pokemon. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Master Ball profile picture? I think you still do. I think you're lying. I haven't touched the Pokemon game because it's on the moon because I didn't like what came after. All I can say is these new Pokemon games look like something worth getting. His name's Monkey Slayer. It's a Freezer profile picture. You know, I like the name profile picture combo. Go for it. I don't know. Who was it that get excommunicated? Game Freak bots? Yeah, true, right? Who was it? Let me. Was it Bill from Accounts? Pokemon Z is Zin Addict. True. Anything else? They need to go back to sprite based. That'd be kind of cool. Not gonna happen though. Mr. Can you stop reading comments? What do you mean? I like reading. This is my first bit. This is the most fun bit. I love reading comments. Comments are stupid. Yeah, I won't buy this game. New routes. What? Something tells me Shuckle profile picture team pokers. Something tells me you will be buying PLZA. Something tells me. Something tells me you're gonna buy it. Something tells me. All right, one more. We'll do one more. I'll scroll randomly. We'll do one more, okay? As a Pokemon fan, I'm not mad at you, baby. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Simp. That's disgusting. Unconsensual kissing in my comment section. Either way, we'll leave it there. It seems like you guys don't like the comment reading portion as much. I love reading YouTube comments. They're very, very fun. By the way, Charlie, Mr. White, Penguin Zero, critical. What's everybody's critical? Well, your feelings are fair, and I understand if your live chat was kind of molding at you. This video was a bit. All I'm saying is that next time, stick to the drama, brother. Stick to the drama. Stay out of the Pokemon discourse, okay? It's not for you, okay? It's not for the faint of heart, Charlie. And I'll leave it there. We'll leave it there, gamers.